and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with this 32 stringed concoction I've come up with. 32 strings, it's 16 colors, 2 loops. Super crazy when it comes to this pattern being more on the difficult side. I've already had people joking and saying, how could a candy stripe bother me after all I've been through? But it is a little bit on the trickier side. Without the pattern, I would never have been able to get it started. So there's that, like, yay. But there's so much going on with like change of directions and having those 2 little diamonds that makes it kind of way more intricate and overall kind of just boosts the difficulty factor. And I never really got to where I felt like I was the most efficient. One of the things, I missed part of the whole, when I made the second loop area, I forgot to hit record. I was just so focused on the pattern and making sure I did it right that I never even hit the record button. Once it kind of got going, looking at the pattern became more difficult than just trying to figure out where I was and what I was supposed to do, because 16 colors in a pattern is kind of hard to read. Certain colors stick out, like the orange was really noticeable, yellow super noticeable, but like, you know, all the shades of green definitely not as noticeable. The shades of purple, you get the idea. It was trying to figure out, bring down 2 rows to the left to make room for the diamond, make sure that the directions that the strings are going are correct. There's never more than 3 knots coming off of the little diamonds, or 3 coming into it. So like one side will be 3 and 2, the other side will be 2 and 3. So, and then you have the little diamonds, and the diamonds kind of worked similarly to like one of the bracelets I did a little while ago, where that kind of made sense. Like, you know, as long as you kind of line up to where the 2 are, or stop where, you know, the 2 are, kind of made sense, and that kind of helped along with the whole overall process. But that said, it didn't really prepare me for how this pattern was going to go and how much there was to it. Surprisingly, despite the fact that I felt like I was losing my mind, I made this in 3 hours. This video is sped up as fast as I could do, 10 times the speed. So because I was kind of afraid that I wouldn't have as much to talk about with this, but yeah, 3 hours. So that's about the same amount of time it took for the easy versions. I can't, well, okay, there was that top beginning coming into it. That's probably 10 minutes. So a little more than 3 hours, but that's still, it's pretty remarkable, I think, how it kind of just came along fairly quickly, I guess. There was at one point where I decided that the level of concentration needed to be able to do this without making mistakes required me to stop playing videos and turn on music instead. And so maybe that's what helped, a little bit less distraction, a little bit easier to keep my focus on what I'm doing. I don't know. But I have to say, I really, I got the right here. I love it. I think it is so cool. It's kind of, the further you hold it away, I'm like, got it way out at arm's length here. The more you hold it away, the more noticeable the pattern is, the more it really stands out and is special. Yeah, this is a very, very cool bracelet. I really hope that somebody likes it enough that they'll buy it and give it the love and affection that it deserves. The easier ones, yeah, I want somebody to have those as well, but I hope somebody really appreciates what goes into these ends up picking up this one. And yeah, it's really, really, really cool. Definitely not beginner friendly. I'm gonna say it, for a candy striped bracelet, this one is definitely harder to do. And I could see if you were going to do it and you were kind of new to this, you know, maybe you knocked out the other ones, now you're ready to try this. You might cross off, you know, sketch out the areas that were completed. That would definitely have made this a whole lot easier. I would just try to look up at the pattern, try to figure out where I was and make sure everything was still on course. Because I know that because I put it together the way I did, that it's going to match up knot for knot. And sometimes it was really kind of hard to know, but then other times I'd see like the dark blue inside of the diamond and know that, okay, yep, that happened, that we're still on course. This is okay. And other than that, it was just kind of looking at it and trying to make sure that I was following along in the right way. And again, I don't think there was ever a point to where I was like, oh, here's the rhythm. This has to happen, that has to happen. And one of the reasons is the diamonds, as you come straight down, if you go straight across these things, they're off by one row. So if they'd been in the same row, you could almost have just worked out that row and worked out what was inside of it, but they're off by a row. So you have to kind of work out some on the left-hand side and then transfer that in a little further and then work the center and then work the right-hand side. And yeah, there was kind of no getting around how that worked because they aren't perfectly aligned. And I guess they shouldn't be, right? Because they're aligned going straight across, but not diagonally. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. My math is like at that level, not so great, but it's a truth. And you can see it if you pick any given color that's on the left-hand side. Say, let's go with the dark blue. It's a few rows up there, right? The dark blue is at the bottom of the little diamond on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, it's on the top row. So you can see it's shifted in just that little bit of space. They're not aligned, and I really think that's part of what adds to how tricky this particular pattern is. I definitely think, though, once I kind of got used to the idea that it wasn't going to be easy to stop looking at the pattern, just concentrate on it itself, I feel like that kind of liberated me a bit from this watch the pattern, make sure the pattern. It just became a little easier because I know what the pattern was supposed to be because I created it. And so kind of just working out what made sense at the moment. As long as you're taking steps forward, you're getting closer to your destination. And I just kind of use that kind of methodology to just kind of keep pushing me through this and getting it done. And yeah, I think it just really kind of worked for me. Now, mind you, I can't say how much of that really was based on experience, because I kind of feel like that's a bit of it. Like if I wasn't as experienced at bracelet making, where would I have been with this? And I honestly, I can't say. I can't, because I want to know, like, if a beginner was up against this pattern, how would they fare? And I honestly, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a really kind of so hard that it might be discouraging. And I don't ever like to tell people it's a beginner friendly bracelet and then it be so hard that they like think that, oh my gosh, if I can't do this, I can't do anything. So that's why I'm like always hesitant on saying which ones are really easy, because if you don't, I don't want to set you back in your growth for learning how to do stuff. So by saying this one's really hard, if you manage to get through it, fantastic, good for you. You know, like that's awesome. But yeah, I don't think a novice is going to enjoy this very much. Not unless, of course, you can check off areas as you complete it. That said, it's probably worth trying. It probably is. So after this, I have some plans. I want to make some versions about half the width of these. And I was kind of tempted in making this in half of its size, but I only have 2 more of these colors cut up, like enough to make 2 smaller bracelets with these colors. And I'm not sure, like I could totally do a half size of this and it would be really neat and it would be interesting to do. But I have some ideas beyond that, and I'm just not sure if I want to cut up, because if I cut up a skein of each one of these colors again, it's going to end up being 3 more small bracelets, or 1 big one and 1 small one, but essentially 3 loops. And I'm not sure, I mean, there's not that much time left towards the end of the month here, and so do I want to like kind of go into next month still working the same theme? And the answer is not really. I mean, I definitely think that we'll come back to playing around with this kind of stuff. I every so often I just feel like the need to try these things out, and they're a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm not sure that I want to do that just now. I got some patterns given to me for some blindside creations. I think that's what we're gonna try next month. So yeah, unless one of those is in that kind of category, I don't know, could be. But yeah, but I do like this. I do really like this, and I do kind of wonder, like, if it was half the width, how would that have looked? Although it's off-centered, right? If I remember right, when the guidelines were there, we took off a row towards the middle to make it 7, so that way the diamonds would fit in between properly. I wonder if this would balance out on the half size, if it would turn out as well. Yeah, it's, you know what? Tell me in the comments if you want to see this half the width, and if I get some comments, then we'll go ahead and we'll chop up that string and get to it. Meanwhile, I think I want to try some other ideas of things that are in the similar kind of range but different. So yeah, I don't want to give away what the ideas are just yet. I think it's going to be more fun as a surprise, and you guys get to see the stuff, like typically the patterns right there in the thumbnail, so it's not like you have to watch the whole video to see what the surprise was. But I've got some ideas of things that I think would be super cool to try, and yeah, kind of hyped about the idea personally. I think we're past the halfway. Let me just thank my YouTube members for making this stuff possible. Honestly, it's like $4 USD to become a member, and it goes a long ways to helping the channel. So if you'd want to help out, that's a great way to do it. Not only do they get to see the patterns early, they get to watch the videos early. We have hangouts where the first Sunday of the month kind of get together and chat about stuff. It's basically why I don't do Patreon anymore, is because it's so much easier to give early access to videos right there on YouTube. So you could actually be watching this probably about a month before it became public, and so you could actually have made some up before my Instagram even shows pictures of this, stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, plus it really helps me out a lot, so I would really appreciate it. Oh yeah, we are getting near the end. The blue is already at the bottom, so like it'll start tapering in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the hardest candy stripes, and I've done a bunch where I've put like crazy tapered outwards, come back in. I've done all kinds. It's just, well, for one, it's harder to read the pattern when there's 16 colors, because it's hard to tell which one is exactly which one. Some stood out, yellow, orange, whatever, but this was definitely up there with difficulty. So I guess I've complained about that enough, haven't I? It just really was a doozy. Yeah, it's nearly done here, guys. Any thoughts, ideas, please share your comments, your thoughts. Maybe it'll inspire me to try something new and different, which is always fun. You can send in blindsided creations as well. I just need a pattern number, the website it came from, and the number of strings in the bracelet, so I can have a template ready to go. That would be kind of cool as well. Yeah, this is really coming into the end here. Once it got down towards the very end, like, again, using the pattern to be able to make sure that I have things right definitely helped a lot. But yeah, this was something else, guys. But hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I always like to say that, because if you watch the whole video, you just made YouTube think I did something awesome. So really, seriously, thank you very much for that. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.